Hello, everyone. I'm Theresa Jackson, and this is the CreativePro podcast, where design professionals like you come for real world insights and practical tips and inspiring conversations like the one that we're going to have today. Thanks for being here. We've got a really special episode for all of you who collaborate with others. That's all of us, right? None of us work alone. If you're new to Creative Pro, we're here to help you stay current, work smarter, and build a career that you love. We offer practical how to events, membership, and a welcoming community. Wherever you're listening, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. Also, just for being here, you can save $100 on any upcoming Creative Pro event with the discount code PODCAST. That's pretty easy to remember. It's just podcast, all one word. Head over to creativepro.com events to check out our upcoming events for the first of next year. That includes the Presentation Design Conference, which will be next February. The Design and AI Summit will be next April. And Creative Pro Week will be in Nashville next year. And that is the end of June into the start of July. Today's episode, we have Mike McHugh from Page Proof. So excited to have you here today, Mike. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, my absolute pleasure to join in. I love the Creative Pro Network. I'm quite honored to be part of the podcast today.
Have we ever met, Mike? I was trying to think. Have you ever come to the States?
I
To a
have.
Creative Pro Week? Have you been to a Creative Pro Week?
I've not been to Creative Pro Week, but I did live in California for about 8 years. So, going to events like Adobe Max, and I worked at Adobe headquarters in San Jose for a number of years. So
Oh,
it's
I didn't know.
entirely possible. Yes.
Wow. Well, we're going to talk about Adobe and Page Proof today. I have a lot of questions for you. This is amazing. Technology is amazing to me when it works because I'm in California. I'm
Yep.
in San Diego. And where are you at? And it is the afternoon for me. It's 2:50 in the afternoon.
It is 9:50 in the morning wherever I am.
The
So
next day, you're in tomorrow.
next day. So you might be able to tell from that and my accent where I could be. I'm on the east coast of Australia, actually in Melbourne. So it's,
It's
very
summertime where you are.
summertime. It's going to be 31 degrees C today. So I don't know what's that.
That's
85.
cold.
Oh, it's warm. It's warm. Yeah, definitely warm.
C, not F.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't know. I'm guessing 85 or something Fahrenheit. So yeah,
Wow,
Melbourne, Australia. That's where I'm from. Yep.
that's fantastic. Are you going to come to Creative Pro this next year? Do you have
Well,
any
I'd love
plans?
to come to Creative Pro. Is that an invitation? Yes, I'm
We
coming
would
then.
love to have you.
I'd
We
love
have
to.
Marcus comes every year. You should join
Marcus
him.
does. Yes, he does. So maybe he'll invite me along to join him next time. I think it'd be terrific fun.
Tell him I said so.
Will do. Yeah, I'm sure he'll watch this back. There you go, Marcus.
Awesome. Well, we're here to talk. I want to learn about page proof. That's
Yeah.
that's what this is about. I have so many questions. I hear about it. I hear about how amazing it is.
Yep.
I've heard that for years, but unfortunately, at this point, I still haven't an opportunity to actually use it myself. So I'm
Yep.
hoping that I can ask all the questions that our listeners are probably asking or wanting to ask, and
Yep.
you can help us all understand what we're missing out on by not using page proof.
Yeah.
So start by just describing what it does. What is page proof?
Absolutely. So, coming from that creative background, working in design or in an agency or in marketing, etc., there's always a number of different levels of approval that we have to get. When we're creating this type of content, whether it be for a publication or whether it be for, digital assets, video, email marketing, etc. There's always a different way that occurs in different businesses. So, as a designer or a creative, even starting with a brief, you might have questions around the brief.
Yeah.
And then there's back and forth on email around that. Or, what does this, you're on the phone or you're sending a Slack or a Teams message to someone. And a lot of things get lost in that translation, even starting from the brief. And then when the first creative's made, how do we distribute that to the right people? We've got to do a creative review. We've got to get sign off from executives in our business, or indeed, if you're an agency, you're working with a client, you've got to get sign off from your client. And if there's feedback and changes that need to be made, how do they get delivered? And how do we make sure that they don't get missed? And that's kind of where PageProof steps in. So it's a way of managing, an entire campaign, let's call it a campaign, or an
Mhm.
entire set of creative assets in one spot that can collate all the different versions, that can collate all of the feedback, all of the brief information, everything that's required to make sure that that stays on track, and that all of the right people are involved, and that all of the right people are responding in a timely fashion. So it helps optimize that whole workflow, and it's all kept in one spot. So, a creative person or a production manager can kick off the workflow. It can be a set workflow template. It goes to all the right people, and then
What is
version.
this one spot you're describing? Is it like a server, like a web, like a
All,
URL,
all
or what's?
all cloud-based. PageProof's all cloud-based, so
Mhm.
access can be, directly through, a login in a browser. All of the content's delivered there. All of the feedback can be delivered there, and all of the proofs and the various different versions are there.
Is
So
that accessible from any kind of device, like a phone or a tablet or a computer? Or
yeah, yeah, you can. You absolutely can approve things, on your phone, because it's
I
it's
love
all
that.
HTML, right? There's no
Yeah.
app required, so you can do that anywhere. I would say though, approving, say a really large sort of set of documents with intricate detail on your phone is probably not a great idea, because you're
Maybe
going
not for you and I, but I bet our kids would have no problem with it. It
to
amazes
zoom
me.
in, see the detail, etc. You can do it if you like to, but uh, for certain things, it's probably fine. Particularly if it's social assets, right? So I'm approving, a corporate video for our Instagram channel, or if probably best place to check it, right? How
I
does it
think,
look on your phone? So
yeah,
yeah,
I'm thinking that it might be. I mean, maybe you start off reviewing it on a larger screen, but if you really want to know what that experience is going to be like, why not
why not?
do your approval on the device where it's going to be delivered?
Yeah. Well, the neat thing is if it's interactive, HTML content, um, you can you can change the view through the browser. So it can be a responsive look at it. So if it is HTML content, you can choose what device to view it on through the browser. So you can say, oh, I want to view this on a small iPhone screen, and it'll adjust
It
it for
doesn't
you.
matter
Yeah.
where the asset originated from, like what type of let's back up.
Yeah. Okay.
How many different types of applications can work with Power or Page Proof? Like, are we talking PowerPoint to Figma to InDesign to Photoshop to
Hmm.
Word,
Yep. But
Canva,
all of
Express?
the above. Yeah, all of the above. So it's probably a different way that I would look at it. There's formats, different file formats that we
Mhm.
support, and then there's different integrations with different, so creating tools or creative tools, or even just tools that create content. So the formats can be various formats can be just simply dragged and dropped into PageProof to kick off a workflow. And that can be video, HTML content, you know, JPEGs, Photoshop documents, TIFFs, all of those sort
Your
of things.
native Photoshop file, you could drag and
Yeah,
drop into Page Proof?
yep, yep.
Wow.
Illustrator file. You can, uh, PDF is the biggest one, right?
Right.
If you can make a PDF out of it, it works brilliantly because high resolution, fonts included, nothing's going to default, right? So that's a smart way of doing it. Um, Text, caption files, audio files, it's um, I'm just trying to think. There's oodles of
Is
different
there
formats.
is maybe it's easier to come up with a list of what doesn't work. Is
What
there
it does,
is there
what it
anything
does. Like, because if you're making a campaign, it's never just, oh, here's just this printed, asset.
right.
It's video content, social media content, it's interactive content, it's banner ads, it's all of these things. And so that we have to support all of them, and we do. So that's all the different formats. But then we have native integrations with the tools that can create that content. So we have an integration into Creative Cloud, for example.
Yeah, how does that
And
work?
it's a panel that you can install into InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, and After Effects.
Wow.
And you can create um, proofs directly from within those applications. So it's like a panel that shows up. You
Is
can
this
access all of
similar
the
to Share for Review, Adobe Share for Review?
yeah. Except you
Yeah,
can
but
access
better,
it.
I hear.
Yeah. Um, it's better, but yeah, it's similar. Yeah. And then you can place, so there's if someone makes a text change, they request a text change, you can use the place gun in the page proof plugin inside of InDesign to replace that text. There's no copy and paste, there's no rekeying anything. It can just happen right in there. So
So, wait,
yeah,
this sounds really amazing to me. So, you have an editor or your marketing director or something, and they get the proof through the page proof portal,
yep,
and they're like, "No, that's not the copy we're gonna use anymore. Here's what we have," and they put it in the page proof portal, and it shows up in InDesign, and you click a button, and it updates your copy?
yeah, like a little comment. They put a
Yeah,
comment in with the text that's required. You can click on that in InDesign. It'll show you in context where it is on the page. You just highlight that text and replace it with what's in the comment.
and
So
it retains all the styles and everything. You don't have to go
you
back
just
and
replace
reformat
it.
it?
Yep,
I'm sold.
it's pretty cool. Yeah,
That
it's
sounds amazing.
really cool. So that's that side. But then we also
Yeah.
have. So you would think, oh, okay. Well, if I'm just using InDesign, maybe there's a different way I could do that. I don't know. But then when that same campaign has video content and then
Mhm,
content that's created with Figma, and then perhaps some of the marketing team are using Canva or Adobe
mhm.
Express or Word, PowerPoint, Excel, we have plugins for all of those applications as well. So the same campaign can contain content from any sort of creation tool that the team chooses to use. So you're not restricted to, oh, now I'm just kind of locked into this one, kind of
Wow.
set of tools. I can
So
use
my
whatever.
my my
Yeah.
brain is spinning because that's what it does when I get introduced to new, tools and workflows.
Yes.
You talked about Excel, Word, PowerPoint, Canva, Figma, Express, all of them. What if you
Yep.
had a campaign where you're using a half a dozen, I mean, that's pretty typical. You're using a half a dozen different tools to create that campaign because it's not just a print ad, it's social media, it's video. Is
Yeah.
there a way to see all of that feedback and content in like one place so that you
Hmm.
have the big picture of the campaign, not just the information on one asset of it?
Absolutely. So there's probably two answers to that question. So within PageProof, um, we have this notion of folders for organizing all of the proofs and collections for organizing all of the proofs within
Mhm.
there. So we'll take an agency for our example here, or an internal, sort of a large organization with a lot of different things going on at once. Um, they can be divided up with different folders, and then that could be, let's call it a retailer.
Mhm.
Oh, we have a new, campaign for fall. We have a new campaign for summer, spring. We call it autumn over here. Maybe it's autumn, and you could have one for autumn and one for fall, and it might be different because they're different times of the year.
Sure.
And so within those campaigns, within those collections rather, all of the different content can be in there, and you can run reports on what's in that content. So that's one part of it. if your organization is then using a workflow management tool, so they're using it to assign tasks to different members of the team,
Like
they're
project
managing
management, like Asana or
like an Asana,
ClickUp or something like that.
Monday.com,
Yeah.
or rah rah rah.
Wait, do you connect to all of those too?
Yeah, we connect to those. So
Oh, wow.
as the project is progressing, through its proofing stage, the creative review, the marketing review, the executive sign off, that project can be automatically progressing through those steps within one of those project management tools. And we support natively Monday, natively Asana, also ClickUp, Trello,
Mhm.
Airtable, like the
Yeah, all the big ones.
yep,
So I'm imagining it would work like you're at a stage of the project workflow and 4 or 5, maybe you need 4 people to review it at that stage.
yep.
Does it have to go in order 1, 2, 3, 4, and then before it goes to the next step, or can you collect all of them at the same time, and then when all 4 have, checked off they reviewed it, does it then go to the next step of the process?
Yeah, uh, there's it's a really good question because it's really flexible in that regard. How you set up a workflow, we call it a workflow, and you can templatize the workflows. But I suppose it comes down to how important you want people to be in
Right.
your in your workflow.
How much power?
How much power should you give them? Maybe with someone like David, who's quite fussy, you might say view only, no comments, David. Just joking. I love
You
David.
only.
He's my funny. Mike is never getting invited back again. That's
David's thinking, no, it needs to go through all of these people, and then I see it last, and then it takes, my approval before it goes on.
no. I am purely joking. But here's what you can do. You can assign different roles to different people and have different steps. So if you're setting up a review of content and you just call everyone a reviewer,
Mhm.
that can all happen concurrently. So
Mm.
everyone can add their comments in, and when they're finished, they just press finish.
Can they see each other's comments?
Yep, if you
Can they
should choose.
override them? Could David come in
You,
and override my
you can't
comment?
override them, but you can respond to them. So you say, I don't
Yeah.
agree with that. We spell colour with a U. No, no, no. We don't. So, and that fun can happen in the comments, right? But the person that gets to decide has a different role. So, not just a reviewer, they might be a mandatory reviewer, which means they have to do something before it progresses to the next step. So, you'd put a mandatory reviewer, and then there's a gatekeeper role as well. So, a gatekeeper can go, well, I'm going to read all of these comments. It's not getting past me until I've read them all and said, that's a to do item, that's a to do item, that isn't. I'll send it back to the proof owner to make those changes. It won't get past me to the next step until I hit approve,
Wow.
or I can hit approve with changes, or there's a few different options. So if everyone's a reviewer, it can just happen concurrently. If there's a gatekeeper on step one, it won't go to the next step until that gatekeeper gives it the thumbs up, which is a really important thing to be able to manage. If the first step is a creative review, just the creative team might help each other out with, oh, I don't like that color, or this one.
Mhm.
The executive team or the legal team shouldn't be commenting on that stuff. They should
Mhm.
just be looking at, well, is the price right? Is the terms and conditions correct? And you can draw their attention to that bit in their step. So you design the workflow in such a way that it rolls through those steps with the key people, as gatekeepers or
Mhm.
mandatory reviewers. And you can have review only as well, just for visibility to people. And then can send back, and you can have multiple iterations before it even gets to the final sign off. Yeah.
So I've done some project management in my past, quite a bit of it actually, and people are the biggest challenge with project management, not the projects. It's the people.
Yeah,
right?
I would agree. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So, a couple thoughts or a couple questions. The first one is I know it can be extremely time consuming on the front end to establish a workflow. Like
mm,
all of this is amazing, but getting it all figured out and set up, that could be really challenging. Do you
yeah.
have like an out of the box template or maybe multiple ones depending on your typical workflow or your setup or who you work with that said that where you can say, "Hey, Teresa, this will get you 90% of the way there. Then we
Yeah.
can tweak it from here."
Well, we have a really experienced customer success team that have seen, everyone's unique, everyone's business is unique, but we've seen a lot.
Yeah.
It's very rare that something comes up that we just go, well, that's a real head scratcher. I don't know how we're going to do that. We've seen it before, through various different things. So we have a bunch of sort of set up templates for marketing workflows or video sign off or branding sign off or whatever it is. But we typically, when we're onboarding a new customer, just sit down and talk,
Yeah.
with them a little bit about it and tell us about how you're doing something now. And then it's usually a little bit of, you've got extra steps there because you need to. But
Mhm.
with our system, we can cut those out. We can do this with one template.
So
If
you
we
have
say,
real people to onboard
yeah,
new clients so that they
yeah, so they can get it right. We can
yeah.
help them with
See,
that.
it's people. It takes
Yep.
people.
I mean, some of our customers have ridiculously large workflows, like with 30 steps in them and 200 people involved, right?
Wow.
It's berserk, right? Some of them are just like, it's just a two-step thing.
Mhm.
We do a creative review, we have our execs look at it, done. So um, easy.
So
It
my
can,
next question about the people, and
yep,
they could be the roadblock. If there's a roadblock in an approval process, it's people.
yes.
And so my first question is, do you collect data on this so you know where your roadblocks are? You got to know. And
Yeah.
then second, what do you do if somebody gets sick or maybe quits when you didn't expect them to leave? That could create a big roadblock in a process if it's set up to automatically go through these steps. So those are two different questions.
Two different questions, and there's probably a few answers to it depending on how big an organization is. So, for example, it's a good idea for every proof to have additional owners. So, if I'm the proof creator, by default, I'm the proof owner, but I can
Mhm.
have a template that adds in my second in charge as another proof
Mm,
owner. Because a
fun.
proof owner has various different powers over that proof. They can change the workflow halfway through. They can skip people or skip steps, or they can nudge people to get them to do something that they haven't quite done yet. Or they can manually approve something. So you can, or manually just put a new version up, interrupting, a set workflow. So
Mhm.
if I'm sick, then my second in charge can do that. Or we can kind of share that light. So that's kind of step one, I think, in that.
Mhm.
Um, the other thing is there's automatic reminders that you can set up as a proof owner when you're kicking off the workflow. So remind a week before it's due, remind an hour before it's due, um, and so on and so forth. If you know that there's certain people that are in and out, so the legal team, right? We need someone from legal to sign this off. I'm kind of picking on them, but it's easy. So,
We love to pick on the legal team.
and I love creative people, but let's pick on the legal people. So, let's say there's two or three people in our legal team, and I just need one of those people to sign it off. I can put them all on as mandatory reviewers
Mhm.
into a step. But then I can also say, I just need the approval of one of these mandatory reviewers
Wow.
so that the other two don't need to do anything. So
Yeah.
if Jenny picks it up and Gary and Mark are off, having a boozy lunch, that's fine. She can do it. Yeah. It's that time of the year, I guess, and they
It
probably
is.
are doing that. Yeah. So yeah, you can set it up that way. So it enables that the work to keep happening. Yeah.
Wow, where is all this data? That's where my head's also going to. You are collecting a lot of data in, I mean, by the nature of this, right? You have all the collaborators and reviewers, and they're
Yep.
all logging into the same place and leaving their comments, and
Yep.
um, you'll know if they're done on a timely manner. You'll know how many times you go back around in circles where you could
Yep.
look at a project at the end and go, wow, it took us way too long to get through this one step. So
Yep.
how do you report on the data? How does that serve your client going forward with their next project?
Yeah. So first of all, the data is being collected, but we don't see that. So no one in our team can see any proofs. It's a really secure system. So we have triple layer encryption. Gets encrypted on the way up, gets encrypted on the way down, and it's a really secure thing. If you're not included on a proof, you cannot see it, even in your own organization.
Wow.
So we certainly can't see it.
Yeah.
As an organization, though, you might want to look at why is this proof set of proofs taking so long?
Yeah.
Or where are things get like some are going really quickly? Da, da, da. So we have a reporting dashboard now for our enterprise customers that you can do a search either, for all of your proofs, like what proofs have we got that are overdue?
Hmm.
Or and you can search it up and it'll show all of the proofs that are in that category. And then you can run individual audits on each proof. And it'll give you a really detailed view of every step that happened within that proof on every version within that proof. And
Wow.
it's kept there for as long as you want it. So you can see, oh, it keeps getting stuck on this step with this group
Hmm.
or this step with these people. And so you can then make a
We've
decision.
all been there.
We know who it is. I mean,
Yeah,
we have our suspicions. But
exactly. Now we
this will,
have proof.
yeah. This will show you definitively where the holdup is. And then you can kind of go back to the business and say, well, we need to make a change here, right?
Yeah.
Because this is really costing us a lot of money and time. Yep.
Yeah, so that brings me to a question that I had too. I would
Mhm.
imagine that you have feedback from your customers who are using this with some general idea of how much savings they're experiencing after maybe implementing page proof for a year. Like how many hours or dollars or
Mm.
whatnot is saved because there's a process in place for tracking the
Yeah.
whole process from start to finish.
Well, first of all, we have an ROI calculator for it. And often when we talk to a customer about how they're doing things, if they're just using email, etc.,
Mhm.
no other system in place, it's ridiculous. Like how much they don't believe. They're like, there's no way that it will save us that much money. Like it will be, an 80% improvement over,
Yeah.
and the onboarding is really, really quick. It happens very quickly. Um, but it's not just everything's in one place. We're cutting down on mistakes. We're saving time, but it holds people accountable for
Right.
doing the
We're back to the people again.
yeah. It holds them accountable because they quickly figure out if I don't do this,
Mhm.
people see. People
Exactly.
see that I haven't done my bit. Everyone else has done it, and
Yeah.
I'm now standing out because I haven't done my bit. So it helps that accountability, and therefore it happens, very very quickly. So because people are like, oh, this is one thing I can't skip because I know everyone's looking at it. It's like that, when someone's not responding to you at work, you just start adding other people on in the CC line. You know what I mean?
Yes, send a company-wide email.
It's a bit like that. So, but it does really hold people accountable. It holds people to a deadline, and it makes things go quicker. So when you're talking about a return on investment, I mean, we do that with our customers. We're like, okay, tell us what you're doing now, how many
Yeah.
staff are working, and we can average out what people get paid for the year. Have you made any, print errors? Have you made any, pricing errors? What did that cost you? And we can cut down on all of that.
I'm sure at this point, most any new customer that comes to you, you have a similar customer you've already worked with, so you have an idea of what their workflow and their issues might be.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
for
makes
sure.
a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We have a tremendous amount of printed packaging customers. You know,
Hmm.
I don't know who decided that they thought that print was going away because I mean, go to a supermarket and have a look what's on the shelves. I don't know how you're going to make that digital, but anyway, so every single package that's out there uh, should be checked. You know,
Yeah,
barcode,
those are
QR
costly
code,
mistakes.
spelling, you know, all of that stuff, and all of the nutrition data and all of that stuff that's really critical to get right needs to go through it. You know, a review and approval process, and that's just that bit. You know.
So
Um,
if I was part of the review process,
mhm.
how would I get notified that something was ready for me to review?
uh, well, how would you like to?
Um,
An
Text.
email, text message?
Probably a text message.
Yeah, yeah. We integrate with Slack and Teams,
Hmm.
so that'll just go boom. You know, there you go. You've got something to review, so that'll just pop up. I have a folder for all the emails I get, but you can just turn those off and prefer to use Teams or Slack if you're
Yeah.
getting a lot. If you're getting a lot, so
Right.
and there's personal settings for what you get notified about as well. So it's like here's a new proof that you need to do something on, or here's something that you previously worked on that just got approved, versus here's every single comment that's happening. No, I don't need to see all of that.
If
Yeah.
if there's a due date attached to that notification, could it automatically get added to a Google Calendar so you could just see all the things you have due on what days they're due?
I'm going to say yes, but I'm just guessing
Yeah.
uh, because I've never tried to do that. But we do have our webhooks available for page proof, which allows for a lot of integrations into various different ways of working. So I'm going to say yes, but I could
Probably. You'll
be
figure it out if not.
yeah, yeah,
I'm looking at my notes to see. I wrote a bunch of
yeah,
questions down here. What
yep.
what do you want to share that I didn't ask? It's probably like, what's your favorite thing that you love to show off with Page Proof?
Oh, page proof. Well, every year we do this 12 days of Christmas thing where we launch, like every day we launch a new feature for our customers, which is
Hmm.
really kind of fun. It's like, oh, this is existing customers kind of getting like little feature presents, for them. We really stepped it up this year with a whole bunch of new features. So things like text search, so you can search within your proof through the browser for things that need to change. There's been a whole bunch of things. Um, One new thing is related to video that came out, which will actually display content credentials for a video. So
Yeah.
this is my favorite thing because I helped the team get this up and going in the in the product. Um, is to display content credentials. Now, for those
Hmm.
people that don't know what that is, it's a content authenticity initiative
Hmm.
that will stamp content credentials onto content to display whether it has been generated with AI,
Hmm.
it's a generative AI thing, or if it's an original photograph or it's been manipulated in Photoshop or one of those things. So we can now do that for video. So why this is important is if you're in a marketing team and you're looking at content for approval for your brand, you might be comfortable and happy with using AI generated material for your brand. You might be happy with that.
Hmm.
You might not be.
Hmm.
You might think this is against our brand. We want everything to be authentic. We want to make sure that we use, real models, for modeling our thing. So within the proof, the little content authenticity icon will show up. You
Mhm.
can click on that within the proof and see where it has originated from. So being part of that
Huge.
initiative is something that I'm really super proud of,
Yeah.
because if we're not doing the right thing, by our creatives here, it's becoming really, really messy. This is, kind of my personal opinion on the thing. We need to support our creatives as much as we can. Now, big tech companies will say that's what they want to do, but they just want more. They just want to have more profits, right? So
Exactly.
we produce this content. We're going to make it easier for customers to produce lots of content. It's going to be slop. There's a lot of slop out there. We need to let our creatives know where that content's coming from and give them a
Mhm.
little bit of power to say, you know what, that's not good enough.
Yep. I
That bit
love
of
that.
stuff just came through. So if it's going through a creative review and there's something in there, you know what to look for with generative AI content, as a creative. It's either good or it's not, and it's mostly not, you know.
We had a design and AI summit in November,
Yeah.
and a couple sessions made it very clear, the legal one especially, that every
Mm.
organization should have some procedures, written procedures for how to deal with AI. What are the boundaries? Know those so your whole team knows what you will accept and what you won't. You have to decide that at your organization level. But figure that out, put it in writing.
Yeah,
And what you just shared with me is that Page Proof will create a system where you can make sure you're staying within the boundaries that you have established for your organization. So everybody knows what those boundaries are, and then when you're reviewing the content, you can confirm that they're inside of those boundaries. It's really
absolutely.
important.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So
was one of my questions. I want
yeah.
AI. We have to talk about AI. It seems like you can't have a conversation
Oh, exactly.
or
Yeah.
without talking about AI. So that was one of them. Are there any other AI features within PageProof to help with the proofing?
Yeah, yeah. Well, there are, yes. So we have a a lot of these types of features on our roadmap. Okay, um, what one that's in there currently, which is really helpful for a reviewer. So, okay, we can recognize AI content within something we're checking, but actually, here's something that's helpful, above and beyond that. So let's say we're working on a you know a multi-page document,
Mhm.
and we're up to a second version. And the second version's been uploaded, and I made a bunch of changes as a reviewer. And now I'd like to look at it and I go, oh, what did I what did I ask to change again? That was last week, and I've done a million things since then.
Yeah.
And we recognize that reviewers, it's not their only job, to do that. They're doing other things. So it's pretty rare that someone's a full time, reviewer.
Mhm.
So we've given them some AI tools to help check the differences between those two versions. So you can do a side by side comparison. You can even do an overlay and see where the changes are made. But we also have a smart check. So the smart check will analyze between the different versions and then just highlight for you what those differences are. Was a font changed? Was the document size changed? Were these colors changed? All of these kind of important brand type
Mhm.
elements that you want to make sure didn't change between, like,
Yeah.
so it's like, yeah, that changed. Oh, I meant to change that. Why has the document size changed? That's probably not right, and that's going to make a big difference to kind of what's going on here. So um,
Wow.
yeah, it's a smart check, and so watch this space on that one. I think is a really critical thing that we're working on. Yep, that's implemented now, but more to come. Yep,
More to come. More
yep,
like more like that. That's
yes,
using AI to
To be
streamline the
helpful. Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What else? What else? Favorite feature? Oh, where can our listeners go to learn more about
Oh,
PageProof?
well, they can come to
That's
my place
important.
in Australia. Come and
I'll just fly over there tomorrow.
fly over and ask me questions. It's no problem. Uh, pageproof.com is the best place to go. There's a really neat 3-minute video right on our homepage that kind of gives you the high level overview. I know we've touched a number of different topics there. That's a really good place to come. And then if you want to talk to someone on our team, we have people that cover the entire globe, from the US to Europe to Australia through Asia. We've got people in each time zone that can help with any question. So when you click on the, talk to someone
There's
button,
a real person?
it's a real person. Yeah, yeah, it's a real
Yay.
it might be a New Zealander, it might be an Australian person,
Mhm.
could be someone in the UK. Like who knows? Whoever's up, that's who you're going to be talking to, and they're very knowledgeable group of people. Um, if we haven't seen the problem that you're experiencing in the review and approval process, I'll be very, very surprised, but I'd love to hear about it.
Wow, Mike,
Mm.
this is fantastic. You're doing really important work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I guess one of as I was saying before, I've done product management work for Adobe, and worn a number of different hats. The one thing that I love about this company and this role that I've got is I get to work with all the creative people. I get to work with
Mhm.
all the marketing people in these really big and sort of fun organizations and learn about all of their businesses, and then help them get it right. And it's kind of really helpful for the creative people, right?
Yeah,
Because it's like,
feels good.
why
You're
am I?
helping them thrive by design. That's
Yeah,
our
why
mission.
do I keep chasing? Why do I need to chase this bill? Oh no, I made a mistake because someone didn't send their feedback in the right time, or now I'm getting contradictory feedback because
Yeah.
I'm getting it from different sources. That sort of stuff's a nightmare for a creative person. So I
Not
really
how we wanna spend our time
not
chasing
really.
down answers to our questions.
Yeah,
We
we
wanna
want
be creative.
we want to be creative. We want to use design as a solution for the problem that's put
Yeah.
in front of us, and we want to create some really great marketing material. That's what we're here for. Yeah, not the administrative chasing down people sort of stuff. So we can
Well,
do that.
it was so great to meet you, if not virtually. I hope we get to connect in real life sometime. I'll tell David I
Tell
need to
David,
enter Australia.
I'll tell
Yeah,
Marcus I've been invited next year.
right.
So, yeah, that'll be exciting. Yeah,
Well, hopefully you can come to Creative Pro Week too. It
yeah,
would be
that's right.
awesome to have you there. You can tell Marcus.
Very good. We can
Alright.
do a fireside chat for everyone. That'll be great.
Oh, that would be fun. I would love that.
That'll be lovely.
Well, I really appreciate you being here. It was great to have this conversation. I learned so much about page proof, and now I need to get my hands on it so that I could give it a try.
I'm sure we can organise that for you. Yeah.
Awesome. And thanks everybody for tuning into the Creative Pro podcast. Be sure to follow us so you don't miss any of our episodes. And if you like this one, which of course you did, because we gave you all the information you really need, give us a 5-star rating and share it with a fellow designer. And don't forget, you have that code, the discount code podcast, to save $100 on a Creative Pro event in 2026. You can see the lineup at creativepro.com events. Also, if you haven't joined our community yet, you can use the same code podcast to get $15 off a 1-year Creative Pro membership. You can find that information at creativepro.com as well. Until next time, keep learning, keep creating, keep sharing, and thanks for being part of our community. We'll see you soon.